Hey guys, we are in the basement, and today guys, we're gonna do part number 6 of the Atari Quantum Restoration. And guys, I am excited to get in the garage because today we're gonna be doing stuff. Yeah, we're gonna be doing lots of stuff and no more of this crazy Bondo action, because the last video, guys, I mean, that was truly Bondo Palooza. I mean, we were Bondoing like crazy, actually the last 2 videos. So anyway, today in this video, we're gonna be really seeing some results on this quantum restoration, okay? Because my goal here is really to, we need to address all of the black paint, okay? So I wanna paint all of the black, we're gonna make that look really good, and then we're gonna put laminate on the cabinet. That's right, guys, we're gonna put white Wilson Art vertical grade laminate on the cabinet and the kick plate, and then we're gonna router it all out and make it look really nice and get it all ready for that side art. And if time permits, in this video, I want to put all of the artwork on the game. Yes, that's right, guys. You know, by the end of this video, we're going to be really far along on this cabinet, if not completely done. So anyway, enough of that. Let's just go to the garage and get to work on the Atari Quantum. All right, guys, we are back in the garage, and yes, it is time to get back to work on the Quantum, and I am excited. You know why I'm excited? Because in this video, there is going to be no Bondo. We did all of the Bondo work in the last episode, and actually the last 2 episodes. That's all we did. It was Bondo, 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 and now we're ready to move on and really get to see some results, and this thing's going to be looking amazing by the end of the video. So anyway, let's quickly review, because in the last 2 videos, what we did was basically patched up every imperfection on this cabinet, okay? And there were a lot of imperfections and gouges and chunks of wood missing, and we fixed all of this, okay? And it's looking really good. All the corners are really sharp, and over here we have the kick plate, and you know, we removed this and bondoed up all these holes here, and there was some lock bar holes on the kick plate that we fixed with some dowel rods and sanding. And then also on the back here, there was a crack, okay, because someone apparently kicked this thing or something right here, and so I just put some wood glue in here, and it was an absolute success. There's no flex now, because before I was able to flex the wood and you could see it just kind of cracking. So anyway, all right, what are we going to do in this episode? Well, honestly, I'm hoping a lot, okay? My goal in this episode, and I don't know how far we're going to get, but we're going to start out by painting all of the black, okay, because we did a lot of Bondo work and stuff, and a lot of the stuff that used to be black is now Bondo colored, and we're just going to go through and rattle can all of the black. And then after that, we're going to apply laminate, okay? And this is a bit of overkill, but I think it's a really good idea, because originally, this game, when it came from the factory, from Atari, they had this naked particle board. They put a clear coat on here, like polyurethane, okay? And they made it really super smooth, and then they applied the side art, okay? Now, I'm a little worried that we're not going to be able to get it as smooth as Atari did at the factory, because I'm worried that if we apply polyurethane on here, it's going to be all bumpy. We're going to have to sand it and sand it and sand it, and that just doesn't sound very fun, because I'm really worried that all of the imperfections on the cabinet are going to really show through the artwork, because when you put this full artwork on, if the cabinet's not just absolutely just smooth, you see everything, okay? And then also, we did a lot of work. We did a lot of Bondo work and stuff and patching, so I'm really worried that we're going to see all of the work. So the choices we have is we could prime and paint this thing and get it really perfect and then put the artwork on. We can attempt to recreate what Atari did with the polyurethane and sand that so it's smooth as glass, or we could put laminate on, and that's what we're going to do. So after we paint the cabinet, we're going to put this on everything, on the kick plate and all the left and the right side. Now this is vertical grade Wilson Art designer white laminate. It's really thin, and it's going to give us like just the perfect surface to put the artwork on, and we won't be able to see any imperfection because the laminate's going to cover up everything, all of our Bondo work, etc. And actually, one of you guys, one of the viewers, sent me an email and some photos of his Quantum, because that's what he did. He put the laminate on first, and he said it was amazing, it was flawless. And also, I contacted Rich at This Old Game, and I said, hey, what do you think? Should I put laminate on first? And he said, said absolutely. He said it'll look beautiful. He did that with his video pinball, and he says it's definitely the way to go. Otherwise, you're sitting here for 10 hours doing all the prep work. So anyway, enough of that. So what I want to do first is I want to recut all the T-molding grooves before we do the black paint, because a lot of our T-molding grooves are filled with Bondo, okay? And I kind of feel like I want to do this first before we paint, so that if we cut this groove here and then paint it, we're painting over all the Bondo and we're covering it up. Instead, we could paint it first and then do the cut, but I thought maybe if we did the cut after we paint, we'd be able to see the Bondo after we cut. You follow what I'm saying? So what I want to do is I want to put the game on its side. We're going to do one side at a time, and I'm going to come in with my router, and we're just going to go through it and just cut all of the grooves that are filled in with the Bondo. And I'm just going to come over here and just carefully put the game on its side. And at this point, I'm not too worried about just putting the game on the concrete. I think it'll be just fine. So let's go ahead and do this side first. I do want to be careful. The bottom edge has some Bondo on it. Okay, so let's get our router and let's get to work here. And you could come over here. I've got my router ready to go. And in my router, I have this bit. This is a slot cutter with a 1/4-inch arbor. It's 9/16 deep by 1/16 wide. I bought this bit on Amazon. It's Freud brand, item 63-100. I use this one all the time, and it works really well. And you can see here, the bit is already in, and this bit does a pretty good job. I do think it's better when you're going top down instead of trying to do it vertically, because I've tried doing it vertically like this, and it gets a little sloppy. So let's do this back corner first, just to kind of get a feel for everything. I think I'm going to go get my light. Hang on. Okay, I'm back, and I lied. So I'm looking at the cabinet, and I'm like, this edge is kind of rough here. So I quickly threw some Bondo on there, and I spared you guys the actual process, but this was kind of all chewed up, and I started getting worried that if we put laminate on there, you know, there was just too much of a valley, and maybe the laminate had nothing to stick to. So before I cut the T-molding groove, I'm going to let this totally dry. I'm going to quickly sand it, and then we'll continue, but I just kind of felt like I needed to do that. And it took me a second here, because, I mean, the thing is that when we put the laminate on, you know, and we take our router, it's going to basically mirror everything that is on this edge. So if there's any gouges that go in, it's going to the bit on the router is going to transfer that to the laminate. And I just didn't like how that looked. It was a little chewed up. So anyway, I'm just going to let that dry, and we'll come right back, and then we'll get back to the routing. All right, guys, we're back. I actually just sanded that, and it looks good now. We don't have any kind of drop out here on the edge. So when we put the laminate on and then router it, we'll get a nice straight edge there, and I just feel really good about that, and that was just pretty quick. So anyway, let's go ahead and router this corner here and put our T-molding groove back in. I am going to use safety glasses, okay, and actually the first thing we need to do is I want to lower the bit, okay, and I want to get it into, see, the original groove is right here, okay, and then it goes over here to our Bondo mess, okay. So I want to come over here to the original groove and drop the bit, the T-molding bit into the original groove, and that way when we come down here, we'll just continue it exactly in the same spot. So I have it in there. I'm going to tighten this up, and then we're ready now to do this. All right, so let me get my safety glasses here, and then we'll go to town on this thing. So, you guys ready? And I'm a little worried here. Hopefully this Bondo doesn't crumble and all that, but let's see what happens. I'm just going to take it really slow here. All right, so far so good. Now we gotta make this turn here, so it's gonna be a little hairy. I'm just gonna take it slow. All right, absolutely perfect there. So that looks really good. And then let's go ahead and continue it on the front here. Looks great. All right, so that's all good. Now we gotta do that front corner. Absolutely perfect. And let's kind of go around here. We gotta do this spot right here. Looks great. And I think that's that whole side there. Oh, we have that top corner. Let's go do that one real quick. Not too bad. Actually, we got to do right here. So let's come in here and do this edge. Plug this back in. So we got to do this one here and then this right here. Okay. And then I'm going to come do this top corner here. And I guess when you route, you're supposed to go counterclockwise, which is what I'm doing. Okay, so that side is all done. I'm going to go ahead and flip the cabinet and do the other side the exact same way, and we'll come back. All right, guys, we're all done. I cut the T-molding groove on the other side. There was only like a couple of cuts. It was like 30 seconds. So anyway, that was a success. So now I want to paint the black, and I'm kind of looking at this and coming up with a plan. And the one thing I don't want to paint is this up here, because this is the original vinyl and the original speaker grill, and it's riveted to here. And to really do this right, I should break these rivets, pull this off, paint this black, paint this separately, and then install new rivets. And I'm not confident about my ability to source these same rivets and have it look the same. So I'm gonna leave this alone because I think this looks really good, and we're gonna paint all around it. So I'm gonna mask this off, and we're gonna leave the original black vinyl here with the original black painted speaker grill with the original rivets. And I think it's gonna just make it look that much more original because there is nothing wrong with this. There's absolutely nothing wrong with what we're looking at. But I do wanna paint in here the edges because it's kind of chewed up. Like if you come over here, you could see that it's just kind of, it's not too bad, but in here though is messy. I need to come in here and lightly sand this and clean this up. I don't know if there's glue on here or what from the kick plate. I think there is. I think there's only just a little bit exposed here. But anyway, I want to paint this whole inside. I'll probably put some tape on here so we don't paint the support wood in there. And then we have to paint really this whole front. We have to paint it because of this down here is we have Bondo. So we're gonna have to paint this whole thing. I'm trying to think the best way to do this. Should I put it on its back? I think we're gonna put it on its back and then put it on its front. We're gonna do two passes here. So why don't we get it ready to paint with everything on it, with the cabinet on its back, and we'll paint the front. We'll let that dry, then we'll put it on its front and then paint everything in the back. I think that's the best move here. But I want to get some masking tape and just kind of mask off that top there. Where is my masking tape? Oh, here it is. And we're just going to rattle can this. But again, I just kind of want to protect all of this. So we're going to come in here. I should really clean this up first, actually. Yeah, let me just give this thing like a simple green bath and just really clean it up because we don't want to paint dirt. Let me grab my simple green. So I'm just going to come in and just clean everything up that we're going to paint. Like in here. I'm basically going to paint everything in front of this. So we're gonna mask all this off so we don't paint any of this stuff. Just the stuff that's gonna be seen once the cabinet's all put back together. The insides in general look pretty good. Let's come in here. So I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna clean this all up, and then we'll hit it with some paint and mask everything off, and I'll be right back. So you can see, it's pretty dirty. Okay guys, I got it all clean, and now I'm going through and just kind of masking everything off. So again, my goal here is really just to paint the sides. I don't really want to paint the guts here. They just don't need it. So I want to cover all the guts up so I don't paint them. And then we'll just focus on these edges here. And I'm wondering if I should get my paper out instead of just using only masking tape. It's probably a good idea. So this paper you can buy at Home Depot. It's pretty great. It definitely saves on using masking tape. And it's fairly inexpensive. So let's go ahead and just kind of use a bunch of this stuff. Like so. And I'll just use this to kind of fill the cavities. I wonder if I should put the game on its back right now. Thinking about it. I'm just gonna kind of drape this all the way down. Yeah, I think this will be a lot easier. I do think I need to mask off these areas first. Think about this. So we want to cover all this up. So let's tape this back. Like so. Anyway, I'm going to keep going. I'm just going to fill everything up with the paper and the masking tape and just mask off the stuff that I don't want to tape. And it's not fun, but we got to do it. So I'll be right back. All right, guys, I have it all taped and masked off. And again, I'm just really interested in painting the inside edges here. It's interesting because when we first got into this project, I assumed that Atari painted the edge of the cabinet black. And I don't believe that to be the case at all. I think that whoever converted this game to a Double Dragon, I think they removed the T-molding and painted the whole thing black, including this. Because if you look at the bottom here, none of that's painted black. I just don't think they did. However, I am going to paint it black only because I want to cover up the Bondo work, like in here. So we are going to paint the edge black. But basically, my main goal right now is just to paint the inside of this, all the stuff that's going to be exposed. It's really not in bad shape, but it's not perfect, and I really want to just clean it up. I mean, you can see right there, there's little nicks and gouges and stuff. So we just want to really clean that up. And then the kick plate's going to come in here and cover up a lot of that. But anyway, let's come in. I'm using Rust-Oleum Satin Paint and Primer in 1, and this is my go-to paint. And this stuff's been out here all winter, actually. I hope it's okay. But this is a brand new can I never even used last year. I buy way too much of this paint. So let's give it a good shake here. And just going to try to do light coats. It's kind of getting a little windy too. But I'm just going to come through here. Just kind of try to evenly paint the black. And I'm going to paint the opposite side from this side so I don't go around the cabinet. Which I'm not really worried about, to be honest. Because if we get a little bit of black paint on the outside, it's not going to matter because we're doing the laminate. And I'll probably do 2 coats, let it dry about 20 minutes in between coats, which is kind of what the can says here for this Rust-Oleum. I'm not gonna worry about the top right now. We'll do that later. All right, that looks pretty good. And I'm just kind of coming down here and double checking everything. So let's go ahead and do the other side now. And again, my goal here was to kind of keep the guts as original as possible, the paint, because it's really not that bad inside. And I really like opening a game and just it being obvious that this is an original game. I mean, because that's the goal here. I don't want this to look like a reproduction game. I want it to look like a nice, original game. Yeah, it's gonna have reproduction artwork on, but that's pretty common in restores. Okay, so that's the first coat. I'm gonna let that dry for 20 minutes and I'll add another coat and then we'll come back. All right, guys, we have 2 coats on here and it's all dry. And I think it was a success. It looks pretty good here. Just kind of, it's a little tacky right there. So it's relatively dry. I think we can move on. Yeah, that feels good. So I think for now, maybe I'll just leave the paper on there. I don't know, what do you think? Should we pull it off now? Because what we're going to do now is we're going to put the cabinet on its front, and I want to paint the back, just like we did this. Yeah, I think we could just leave that stuff there for now. Yeah, maybe I'll just pull some of this tape off. All right, I guess I'll just take it all off. And kind of look at our work here. I think it actually looks pretty good. What do you guys think? I think it looks great. So we're going to take all the tape off, and then I want to put the cabinet now on its front, and we'll do the back. And I'm debating about what to do with the back door. I kind of want to put it on, and I kind of don't at the same time. If we put it on, it will kind of make our life easy, because it'll just cover all the guts, right? And the back door is in pretty rough shape, and I'm kind of okay with it. Boy, this looks really good. So you can kind of see the transition here where we painted and didn't paint. I think that'll be okay. I think when it dries, I can maybe take some 220 sandpaper to kind of feather that paint transition. I don't know if you guys can even see what I'm talking about, but like right in here, you know, I didn't paint this entire thing. We had it masked here, and so you can see it goes from paint to the vinyl, and maybe we can just lightly sand that to ease that transition. But I think this looks really good, actually. Yeah, it's really popping. The black areas are just, they look really good. So let me stand this up, and then we're gonna put it on its front, like I said. No easy way to do this. All right. So let's take a look at our work. Yeah, it looks great. All the black looks great. The bottom, front looks good. You can really see the transition now in the light right here. But again, this is the inside of the cabinet. You'll never see this, but I think I'll lightly sand this later when it dries, just to kind of ease the transition and kind of feather it. Okay, so the front black is done. So now we need to do the back. I think the first thing I need to do, though, is I need to remove that grill on the top, because I don't really want to paint over that grill. I want to do the grill separate. Let me show you guys what I'm talking about. So let's yank the grill off real quick. It's just 6 Robertson screws up here. So you can see on the top, we've got the grill there with the 6 Robertson screws holding it on. I do want to paint the entire top. It does look like someone did paint it, and there's also all kinds of white overspray. I'm not sure what to say about that. But let's yank this grill off, and then we can treat that separately. I was thinking about taking all the metal parts and getting them powder coated. I've never done that. I always paint them myself, and I haven't decided yet if I want to go through the extra expense. We may or may not. What do you guys think? Powder coat or paint? I mean, obviously the powder coat's gonna be a lot nicer and easier, but it's probably gonna add $100 to the restore, which doesn't really make me that happy. So let's clean that up. I already cleaned the whole top here, but I just want to clean around this area. And there's all kinds of cobwebs in here. And we're gonna have to mask this off so we don't get our paint in here. That looks pretty good, okay. All right, so let's go ahead and mask this off. Again, I'm wondering what to do here. Do we put the back door on? Painting the back, really, it's that bottom kick plate and then the sides where the Bondo work is and that bottom corner right there. That really needs the paint because we want to hide the Bondo work on the inside, especially because you'll be able to see that, and that should be black. So, and I haven't decided yet what to do about this piece right here. I'm really tempted to just leave this alone. And I know that sounds crazy, right? But we've got the original Atari stickers here, which are worn, but I kind of want to leave them. And then we're going to add the serial tag back on here, which is missing. Somehow the serial tag is gone, but these two and this sticker are here. But Etienne in the Netherlands made me a serial tag sticker for this that matches the original serial tag, serial number of this cabinet. And we were able to figure out what the serial number is of this game because it was on the transformer assembly. So if you look on the transformer, you could see that it's upright 00359. So Etienne made me a tag for that. You can see right there. So that is the original serial number. And again, I have a tag, a reproduction tag, because the original one is completely missing. So I'm kind of tempted to leave this back piece alone because it's original. And we kind of did this on the journey. The back of my journey is not perfect. And I like that because it kind of shows, hey, this is an original game. And really, what are we to gain by fixing this up? I mean, if we do this, we're going to have to remove all these stickers, paint this whole thing, and get rid of the original stickers. And I kind of don't want to do that. Maybe we'll spray some Super 77 on here and just kind of tack that down and then put the reproduction serial tag on here, which I think was in this area right here. It could have been over here. I'm not sure. But anyway, regardless, let's go ahead and just kind of mask this stuff off. I think we'll mask the hole first from the inside. Like so. Just so we don't get any overspray inside the cabinet. And then I'm going to mask off this entire original panel right here. We're not going to paint over this. It does look like there's some overspray right here. Not really sure, but all right, that looks pretty good up there. And then let's mask off this, and I think we're gonna put the back door on. I don't know. So we kind of want to paint. So we're gonna not paint this whole panel. So we're going to mask this off, like so. Does this seem crazy that I'm not painting this? I don't know why. I like the idea of this being original back here, and you turn the game around, you can see the history of it. And you're like, oh yeah, this was an original game. All right, anyway, I'm gonna keep going here and just mask all of this off. And you guys don't need to see me do every single piece of tape on here. It's gonna take forever. So I'm gonna mask this off and we'll come back. Okay, I had this all masked off. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do the top first, and we'll let that dry, and then we'll do the bottom by putting the game on its nose. I think that's the best way to handle this. So I'm gonna come up here and just hit this with the rattle can. I've almost gone through one can here. All right, so that's gonna be the first coat. I'm gonna let that dry, and in like 20 minutes, I'll come back and put another coat on. All right, guys, we're all dry here, and so we got the top all painted with 2 coats. Looks pretty okay. There's like some weird like streaks right here that is not from my paint. I think it was in the vinyl. I don't know if there was like, it was roughed up there or something. It's kind of bothering me actually. We might go over that in a little bit. I don't know. You see those lines? That's not from the spray paint. There's something in the original finish or vinyl, or maybe those are streaks from when they painted the cabinet black before. I don't know. But anyway. All right, so let's leave that alone, and I want to do the bottom now. This is pretty dry, but let's kind of come down here. And what we want to do is I'm going to put the game on its nose. All right, so I'm going to bring the cabinet down, and I'm going to protect the corners with these egg things if this works out okay. Let's see. Shit. See if I can get it to land on that. All right. Okay, so let's take a look at the bottom and see what we got to do here. So I basically just want to paint all this black, this bondoed area and this whole area right here. So I think I'm going to take the wheels off because I don't want to paint the wheels. So that should be the best way to handle this. So let me see if we can get a nut driver on here. Hopefully I have the right size. There we go. And I should be able to get, yeah, okay. So we'll take our drill and just knock those out. I need an extender. Okay, I got a socket here and we're just gonna undo this. Okay, we got both of the wheels off, and I'm just going to clean this area up a little bit. Just don't want to paint dirt. And so we're just going to paint all of this black, including this board right here. And I just want to just get all the grime and dust off of here before we paint it. It's not too bad because I actually cleaned it earlier, but all right, that looks pretty good. All right, so let's mask this stuff off. So we don't want to paint our leg levelers and all that stuff, so we're gonna just come in here like so. And I don't want to really paint anywhere below this. So we'll just mask this off. And again, this is an area that you're never going to see, so I'm not too concerned. Okay, so we got some glue right there. So I'm just wondering if I want to paint all with the edges all the way because we did it on all the other sides. Because it's not painted on the bottom here. What should we do? Maybe we should. I don't think so. I think we're just going to paint up here. There's a little bit of Bondo on the wood. It doesn't matter. The T-molding is going to go over it. So I really just want to, this is really the big concern right here. We want to paint this black so it just looks kind of original. So let's go ahead and hit this. I'm going to throw some paint on the switch hole. I mean some tape right in here, just so we don't paint the on-off switch. Just kind of jam that full of tape. And then let's throw some tape right here. All right. I wonder if I get some cardboard here, I can just kind of hold it and block off. So let's do this area first. And I'm really, again, just mostly concerned about this edge right here. Okay, we'll let that dry and I'll do another coat in between. All right, guys, the paint's all dry, so I'm gonna put the wheels back on. We got 2 coats on the back here. It looks okay. You know, we didn't really go crazy restoring the back here. I'm kind of okay with that, but I'm gonna put the wheels back on, and then we'll put the cabinet upright, and then we're kind of ready to move on to the laminate. And wow. The laminate's gonna be a lot of fun, maybe. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and just screw these back on here, and then we'll go to the next steps. But basically, yeah, I'm just tightening these nuts on here, and that's it. So, all right, we'll be back. Okay, we have the wheels back on, so let's get rid of our tape here and just kind of look, and yeah, it looks great. It looks like black paint. Get the tape out of there. So let's lift it up and look at the top here and everything, and we'll remove all the masking tape. Okay. All right, let's take a look here at our work. So I want to remove all this tape in the back. And yes, we still have the ugliness right here. I think it looks pretty good, guys. It looks very presentable. Let's take a look down there. The top, you know, I tried getting rid of those streaks. Actually, off camera, I actually sanded this area down and repainted it, and those streaks did not go away, and I don't really know what to make of those. It might be in the wood, some gouges in the wood up here, but if we look, see that? I don't know what to make of this. And I did sand all of this down. You can actually, if you look in the light, you can see my sanding marks. But I think it'll be fine. I mean, it definitely looks way better than it did. And of course, the light up there that's above it is really exaggerating everything, but it looks pretty good. Okay, so what do we do now? Well, it's time for vinyl, guys. Because we got all the black painted, and also over here, I'll show you guys. I did paint the inside of this because this in here was painted black, And when we did the Bondo work, we kind of got some Bondo on here, and it wasn't black. So I just kind of masked off this area and then just sprayed the inside of the speaker grill, because that is supposed to be black. It's funny though, I see a lot of the reproduction restores, and this area here is usually white, and it should be black. So anyway, okay, so I'm gonna get set up, guys, and we're gonna do the vinyl laminate now, because that is what's next here, and it's going to be a big job, but it's going to be worth it. So let me get set up, and we'll go to the next steps. All right, guys, we're all set up. Actually, it's the next day. I decided to wait a day to do this, but anyway, we're ready to do the laminate, and the plan is this, okay? So we have our laminate over here. Again, this is Wilson Art. It's vertical grade. It's called Designer White. It was about $65 a sheet. I had to buy 3 sheets because we had the kick plate, and it's going to be a total waste because we're barely going to use the 3rd sheet. But it would have been possible, I think, to actually get one of the sides and the kick plate with 1 sheet. However, there wasn't much of a tolerance. There wasn't a lot of meat left over, and I really want to have a little bit of hangover when I apply this. That way it's going to make it a lot easier for us when we apply the laminate, because if we have to be really exact, I think it would be very easy to kind of maybe have the laminate too far on one side and maybe not cover the cabinet completely. Anyway, all right, here's the plan, okay? And I've done this one time before. It was last year when we did the jump bug restore, and it was a success. So I feel a little more comfortable because I've done it before. But anyway, regardless, let's kind of review the plan here, okay? So what we're gonna do, well, first things first, we're gonna have to cut down the laminate to a size that is a little bit bigger than this panel here and the sides. I'm probably gonna do the kick plate first, okay? So we're gonna measure the kick plate, and then we're gonna cut the laminate down to size, to a workable size for this. So this right here is about 24 by 34 1/4. So I want to have about 2 inches overhang on either side. So it's 24, so let's go to 28 inches. I'm just gonna write this down here. So we're gonna do 28 inches by, so it's 34 1/4. So let's go 38 1/4, okay? So we're gonna cut a piece of laminate down to 28 by 38 1/4, okay? Now after we cut it down, what we're gonna do is we're gonna apply it to this piece of wood here, and we're gonna use contact cement to do that. And we're gonna roll contact cement on. Now we're gonna use Wilson Art 600 contact adhesive, okay? And again, this is contact adhesive, so we get one shot with this. Basically, we're gonna put the adhesive on the piece of wood, and we're gonna put the adhesive on the laminate. And then we're gonna touch the two together, and as soon as they make contact, that's it. We cannot undo it because it is literally contact adhesive, okay? However, we're gonna put dowel rods in between before we make contact, okay? And so I have a bunch of dowel rods over here, and these are left over from last year when we did the jump bug. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna put dowel rods across our wood, like so, on top of the adhesive after we put it on the kick plate here, okay? And then we're gonna drop our laminate on top of the dowel rods with the adhesive on the laminate, and then we're gonna slowly remove them one at a time. Does that make sense? And again, we get one shot at this, so we cannot screw it up. We gotta make sure everything is lined up before we remove the dowel rods. So anyway, all right, let's cut the laminate down to 28 by 38 1/4. And again, it's over here, it's all rolled up. So cutting the laminate is not hard, just kind of annoying. You gotta get on the ground with a ruler and a plastic cutter, and I'll show you what we're gonna use. I'm using the same tool I used last year, so hopefully the blade is still sharp. Okay, so there's our laminate. And you gotta be a little bit careful because this stuff can chip and crack. It's a little brittle, but not too bad. It's fairly forgiving. All right, so let's take one of the sheets out here, and we're gonna cut it down to 28 and 38 1/4. All right, let me get this stuff out of the way here. Okay, so we wanna cut it on the finished side. So let me turn this over. right, let me lay this flat and then we'll cut it down. All right, we have the piece of laminate all flat here. So let me show you what we're gonna use. We're gonna use this plastic cutter right here. I picked this up at Lowe's last year. It's a Cobalt. It's like laminate and plexiglass cutter, and it does a pretty good job with this stuff. So, okay, our dimensions are 28 by 38 1/4, so why don't we measure down 28 inches and cut this? Because we're gonna go 38 1/4 to this way and then 28 this way. And then we're gonna have a big piece left over here. So I'm gonna come in with my ruler. Let me grab a pencil. So I think once we get all these cut down, this will go pretty quick. All right, so let's come in here and I want to measure 28 here, like so. And then let's measure 28 kind of in the middle, and we'll just kind of connect the dots. My laminate's blowing all over the place. Okay, let's try this again here. So we got 28 in the middle, and then let's do 28 on the far edge over here. And so we're gonna end up with about 2 inches of overhang on either side, which is what I want. All right, so 28 is right here. All right, so let's just kind of connect the dots. And we don't have to be really exact here. I'm just scoring it. Roll it down. Okay, so let's see if it breaks. And it does. Okay, so there's our first cut. And this is for the kick plate again, so let's see how close. This is way bigger than we need. Just kind of taking a look here. I'm tempted just to kind of leave it that size. Okay, I'm going to go ahead here and cut my other dimension, which is 38 1/4. All right, that's it. So we're now ready to do this. Let's make sure it fits on here nicely, and it does. Okay, so there's the sheet on there. We've got about 2-inch overhang all around, which is what I want, because I want to make this easy on me. Okay, so all right, let's get ready. We're gonna put the contact adhesive on, and again, we get one shot here, but you know, I've done this before, so I'm feeling pretty good. So, all right, so I'm gonna use this roller. This is I've actually never used this exact roller to do this. Last year I used a smaller roller, but I was just looking through the stuff I had on hand. I didn't want to go to the store this morning, so we're gonna use this one. And it says here all types of paints and sheens, so it should be just fine with this contact adhesive. So I'm going to use a larger roller than we did last year, and I've got 2 of them, which I'm hoping is that we can make those 2 last for these 3 applications. So, all right. You know what I'm thinking though before I do this, because I do have 2 rollers. That means that if I were to use 1 roller per side, I don't have enough. So I kind of want to cut down the other laminate, because I think what we'll do is we'll do this one right away. We'll laminate it. We won't do the routing yet. And then we'll do one of the long sides immediately afterwards. And then we'll route it. And then we'll have a second roller if we need to for the 3rd side. Does that make sense what I'm saying? So what I want to do then is just quickly kind of measure the long side here, because I don't want to go to the store and get a third roller if I need it. So I want to try to make the 2 rollers I have last, because I don't know if the roller is going to be all gummed up after we do it. So anyway, and by the way, I did check the remnant piece from the kick plate, and it will not fit on here. It's too short. It comes to about here. So anyway, let's measure the cabinet, and I want to be, again, about 4 inches larger than the cabinet, just to kind of make our life easy. So I'm going to come down to the bottom, and I'm going to measure from the bottom to the tallest point, which is up here, and it's about 72 inches, a little bit less. So let's go 76 for the 1 dimension. So we're going to go 76 inches by, and then I want to come down here and measure the widest dimension of the cabinet, which is from here to this point, and that's about 31 and a half. So we want to go 35.5 inches. Okay, so we're going to cut it 76 by 35.5 for each side. And let's go ahead and double check that just to make sure. Measure twice, cut once. So about 72 inches to the tallest point. So that's going to be 76 plus 4 with the plus 4. And then the widest point here is 31 and a half. Plus our 4 is 35 and a half. And I'm going to go ahead and write that on the other side too, just so I have reference on both sides. So 76, so it's 76 by 35.5 inches. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to go ahead and cut down the larger sheets to the 76 by 35.5, and I'm going to do it exactly the same as I did the kick plate there, and then we'll come back and we'll do our gluing. Okay guys, everything is all cut down to size and we're now ready to do this. So I'm going to do the kick panel first. And again, the plan is this. We're going to apply our adhesive to the kick plate laminate on the back and then also on here. And then we need to let it dry and get tacky. Now the can says 20 to 30 minutes, okay? And then after the glue is relatively dry and tacky, we're gonna put the two together. But first we're gonna put dowels in between and rest them on top of each other, remove the dowels, and then let the two make contact. And then after it's completely made contact, we're gonna roll it with this. This is a J roller. This is actually like a 3-roller J roller. This is actually for flooring. I couldn't find the single kind. I found this at Lowe's, but I used this for the jump bug. It worked pretty well. So we're gonna roll out the laminate with this, okay? All right, guys, we're ready to get to work here. Now, I've already cleaned this surface. I actually sprayed it with Simple Green and wiped it down, and it's very clean and smooth, okay? And then the back of this, I made sure that this was also clean as well, because when it was on the floor of the garage, it picked up some dust and grime. So you just want to make sure your surfaces are very clean, and they are. So we're ready to do this, and again, we get one shot here, and we cannot screw this up. Because once this thing makes contact with the wood and the cement and all that stuff, there is no turning back, okay? So, all right, so let's go ahead and start putting our cement on, and I'm gonna use, again, this roller, which is a little bigger than the application, but you know what? It's probably gonna go faster because it is larger. It'll be just fine. Okay, so here's our contact cement. I'm going to, I guess we'll just dip it in here. Let's see how that goes. And I'm going to try not to make too much of a mess here. And you want to really just evenly coat this entire thing. You want to double coat the edges. That's what the can says. And just going to put 2 decent coats on here and really get to the edges. You got to go all the way across. I wouldn't worry too much if you get the adhesive on the finished side. It does come off pretty easily with acetone when we're done. I learned that last time when we were doing the jump bug. So there's something right here. What is that? All right, so there's our first coat. I'm going to put 2 coats on this. And by the way, the bigger roller I think is the way to go, because last time I used a small roller. This is way better. All right, we got quite a bit on here right now. Okay, I think that's pretty good. Just really make sure you got these edges really gluey. Okay, I would say that's good for that. And let's come over here and roll this. We might have to go to the hardware store and get another roller. I don't know if this roller is going to survive. Oh no. I think some of the paint on this roller is coming off. There's looks like paint on the end of this plastic roller, and I see it kind of floating inside the adhesive can. Hopefully we're not contaminating this stuff. Trying to figure out the best way to do this now. Just gonna dump a little on here. Help if I put the camera on the wood. Okay, let's go ahead and put a little bit more on. Just a little drip here, and a little drip here, and I think that should do it. Okay, so we're gonna let this dry for about 20 minutes, and then we'll come back and see if it's tacky, because that's what we want. I think I'm gonna have to go to the hardware store. I don't know if I can reuse this roller. Maybe we can, who knows? I don't know what condition it's gonna be in like 20 minutes, so we'll see. Just really wanna make sure we got this adhesive on the edges. It's like the most critical part. Okay, let's let that dry and I'll come back. All right, guys, it's only been about 10 minutes, but this just feels really dry to me. That one over there, not so much. I'm getting a little nervous here because if it dries too much, it will not work. So I'm wondering if I should go ahead now and do it or what, but you're supposed to be able to touch it and it doesn't come up. And it's mostly doing that. There's some areas here that are a little wetter than others. I don't know what to do. Should I wait a couple more minutes or just go for it? Why don't we just start preparing and then we'll kind of test it. So I'm gonna put the dowel rods on here. Like so. putting way more than we need for this small piece of wood, but okay, so then what we're going to do is we're going to put, is the glue dry enough? I think it is. It's a little inconsistent. Yeah, I think it's good. Let's go for it. So I'm going to bring the wood, the laminate over here, and we're going to put it on top of the dowels, okay? And then what we want to do now is look all around and just make sure we have overhang, okay? And we should come over just a little bit this way. I'm looking underneath, and we got overhang there. We have overhang here, okay? And we got overhang there. So we have overhang everywhere. So we're now ready to start removing the dowel rods, okay? And let me get my J-roller. We're gonna start in the center. Okay. Okay. And let's work our way out. And I got to be careful when I roll here because there's a hole, okay? And we don't want to crack this stuff, okay? So I'm just applying even pressure everywhere. Let's pull this out. Pull that out. Okay, we're on. And we definitely have bond. Okay, so now I'm going to carefully take my J-roller and we're going to just evenly apply pressure to this thing. And I got to be careful here because I don't want to go through the holes and crack this stuff. I'm just seeing where it's safe to apply pressure. But it's totally on. And I think once we router it, I'll be able to know exactly where I can apply pressure, and we'll go back over it. Yeah, that's really on there. Okay, I'm going to stop here on this piece and we're going to move on to the side because I want to try to use that roller again. What I'm going to do real quick is just kind of clean up because I got glue everywhere, and then let's do one of the sides. Okay, we're ready to do one of the sides, and we'll do the right side first here, or the left side, whatever way you're looking at it. But anyway, so I had the cabinet on its side. I cleaned up the whole thing with simple green. I have my laminate over here, and we're ready to do this. Now, this side, the long side, is going to be a little trickier, and we might want to practice the motion, and I recommend doing this. And I did this last time with the jump bug. I kind of practiced what it would be like transferring the laminate from this table. And by the way, I do recommend putting it on a table next to it. I practiced transferring the laminate with the glue from here to there, okay? And so I recommend transferring that motion, practicing that motion, because we're gonna have to go like this, right? And then we're gonna have to just kind of come over here and rest it on the cabinet on top of the dowel rods, right? Like so, okay? So just practice that motion, just so you kind of get used to that. And I'm wondering if the cabinet's a little too close to me. Maybe I can move the table a little further away, give me some breathing room here, because the dowel rods are gonna be hanging off. Okay, so let's just get to work here. I'm gonna put the glue on this piece right here. And I'm going to try to reuse that roller. And this is going to take a lot. And hopefully I have enough of this stuff. We have a little bit less than a half a can left. Boy, that would suck if we ran out. So we got to cover this whole thing evenly. And we got to make sure we go edge to edge. Very important. Don't want to get the stuff on my pinball machine. It does seem like the glue dries faster on the particle board, so maybe do it on the laminate first. Okay. Boy, this actually a little bit went a pretty long way here. Okay, I'm just gonna put a little bit more on around the edges. Let's kind of come in here. But this looks like a plenty. Just really making sure that our edges are really saturated. I'm just trying to go edge to edge here. Oh, guys. Man, once we're done with this, well, the artwork's going to be a challenge too, though. I mean, that full side art, I've never done that before, and I really want to do that today. So we'll see what happens, how the time goes here. All right, that's good. So let's do the cabinet. So that's good, even coverage there. And let's come over here, and now we're going to do the same to the cabinet. Okay, let's kind of dump some on here. And let's try to get good coverage here, edge to edge. Just really want to make sure I get the edges, because that's where it could peel off, you know, so definitely make sure you go edge to edge and just focus on those edges, I think. Because if you're going to miss a spot, better be in the middle than the edge. All right, I think this is pretty good here. Okay, maybe we'll just do one more light coat. Just kind of come in here just a little bit. All right, so just about done here. We're gonna let this dry for about 10 minutes. It's 20 to 30 on the can, but I'm gonna check it after 10, and then we'll assess the situation. Because again, we want it to be tacky, not dry, but not wet. You don't want it to come on your finger when you touch it. That's what the can says. So, all right, let's let that dry, and then we'll come back. Okay, guys, it's been roughly 15 minutes since we did that side, which means that side's somewhere around 20. And If we touch it, it's pretty dry. There's some spots that are a little wetter than others, but I don't want to wait too long. So let's go ahead and put our dowel rods on here. And this is the hard part here. So let's put these on. And again, we want to really evenly put these on here, so I don't want to keep bumping into them. That is a fear. Oh boy, that's all the dowel rods I have? I think I have one more. Oh, there's one right here. So I've got another one back here. I see it. I've got this too. Just gonna use everything I got here. All right, that looks pretty good. Okay, so it's time to drop the artwork on. I mean the laminate on. So let's go ahead and grab this. Okay. Oh shit, we're touching. We're touching. Okay. This edge is kind of tricky here. All right, let's just make sure we have overhang everywhere. We don't, let's just come over more. Like so. Okay, so very critical here. We have overhang. Overhang all the way down. We can come over this way a little bit. And let's look over here. Let's come down this way. Okay, we have overhang here. All right, looks like we have overhang everywhere. Overhang. All right, I think we could safely drop it down now. Okay, we have overhang everywhere. Just really double checking, guys. Okay, so we're ready to start pulling the dowel rods from the middle. Here we go. So we're gonna start from the middle and work our way out. Okay, we're on. There's no turning back now. Okay, let's go ahead and do this side. All right, that's it, we're on. All right, so I'm gonna roll this thing, and I just gotta pay attention to where the edges are. I don't wanna crack anything. You know, this isn't that hard, and it's definitely easier than painting and priming and all that business, so this is the way to go. I'm going to be doing it this way for a long time, I think. Okay, so we're pretty much on there. And then after we route it, we'll really go over it with the J-roller. All right, so it's time to route. So we gotta route this side, and then we'll route the kick panel too. Kick panel routing has me a little worried, but whatever. Okay, let's get our router and get set up here. Okay, we are ready to router here, and I have a 1/4 inch flush cut bit right here, okay? And I got that from the Laminate store last year. Now this one does not have a bearing, okay? But the idea here is that this part here, the little bullet nose, is gonna ride on the wood, and then the cutter is just below it. So this is gonna ride on the cabinet, and then it's gonna cut whatever is above it, which is the laminate. So we have to line this up so that this hits the cabinet, the bullet part hits the cabinet, and the cutter hits the laminate. And we wanna go counterclockwise. And I know last year I said that, and I went clockwise. So the idea with routing, and I don't fully understand the logic, but based on the way the thing rotates, if you go counterclockwise, it will not dig into the cabinet, or it's less likely to around the corners, okay? And I'm gonna start in the back just because I think that's safer. I like to get the feel for the router on the back, because if I screw up, I'd rather screw up on the back than on the front. So we're gonna start in the back, and we're gonna go all the way around counterclockwise. First thing though, I gotta line this up. And I am wearing my safety glasses here because I don't wanna get these chips. So we're gonna come way up here. Right about there, I'd say. Maybe just a hair up. So I'm trying to get it so the cutter is kind of in between. Let me just see kind of what happens here with this. Okay, I need to come up. You can see right now. Right about there, should be good. I'm just making sure that we hit the cabinet with the little bullet part, and that the cutter doesn't. I'm gonna come up even a little bit more. Just really want to get this in a good spot. All right, that looks great. Let me tighten this down. I'll show you guys exactly how it's adjusted here. All right, we're ready to go all the way around, but first I'll show you just exactly how I have it set. All right, so you guys can see, I have it so the bullet here is hitting the cabinet, and then the cutter is right in between the material, okay? And what's gonna happen is this bullet's just gonna follow the cabinet profile all the way around. I can even come up just a hair more. Maybe I will. All right, I'm gonna adjust it and we'll cut it again. And we'll go ahead and cut the whole cabinet. Okay, I have the router where I want it, and we're ready to do this. And we're going counterclockwise, right? Yes, okay. All right, here we go. All right, I started digging in the cabinet here, and I don't know why. I think I'm gonna come up just a little bit. Right there. Okay. All right, here we go. Okay. Just kind of taking my time here. It's a little hairy, honestly. So it's like when it's hitting the Bondo, I'm getting a little bit of resistance. Yeah, it's digging into the Bondo right here. So when I get to the Bondo areas, the bit wants to go right into it. I don't like that at all. So we're gonna have to figure out a way to smooth that out. I wonder if I should raise the bit even up further so that the cutting edge, no, that's about as high. Okay, let me get my cord here. It's a little hairy, guys. All right, it's going pretty okay now. Well, it's looking like a quantum cabinet. Okay, we're done. All right, let's kind of inspect our work here. Like this back edge doesn't look good to me. Okay, so right here we kind of dug into the laminate, which is not good. Might be able to fill this in a little bit. Yeah, I think we're gonna have to fill this in with something. Okay, this looks pretty good. I'm just kind of going over this and cleaning it up. That looks good. All right, let's inspect our work. In general, it was a success. A couple spots, not too awesome. And I'll show you guys what I mean. So this corner here, the bit dug in. See that? Very trivial, I know. And once the T-molding's on here, I don't think you'll ever notice this, but I probably will fill this in with something. And then this all looks good. That edge looks great. This looks good. Just kind of following it around. This is good up here. So in general, it's all really good and straight. So we dug in right here. Again, there was heavy Bondo in this area. And I don't know why it did, but it dug in there. So I guess we're still not very good with the router just yet. So all right, I'm gonna clean up really quick, and then we'll go on to the next steps. And I want to J-roll this too. All right, the one thing I'm gonna do before we move on is I'm gonna file the edges down a little bit, and just to kind of round them off and make sure they're not so sharp. And actually, this file Tothwolf sent me, because when I did the jump bug last time, I should have filed the edges. So, but I didn't have a file, or I had a really crappy one. So I'm just gonna kind of go along here and just smooth everything out. And actually, you could see down here, I did kind of file this a little bit and made this a lot worse than a lot better than it was. Yeah, I think that bottom edge is going to be just fine, because once the T-molding's on there, I don't think you'll ever notice it. It's really not that bad. So anyway, I'm going to keep going and just file all this, and then we'll come back. Okay, guys, I'm all cleaned up here, and it looks really good, guys. I have it stood up here. I cleaned it with some Simple Green, and it really does look good. There's a couple little minor imperfections, like in the back. There's a little gouge that I don't know if it's going to matter or not, but in general, it looks good. I filed all the edges, and it looks great. So we're ready to do the other side. I'm going to do the other side exactly the same as I did this side. Actually, before we go, I want to show you guys this, because I was curious about the thickness of this and if it was going to really show through the T-molding. And this really added a trivial amount of thickness, guys. This stuff is so thin because this is vertical grade. You know, this is designed for vertical cabinets and walls and countertop, or not countertops, but cabinets in a kitchen, right? So it's a vertical grade. It's not very thick. Doesn't need to be because it's vertical. You're not cooking on this or stepping on it or whatever. So it really doesn't add much thickness at all. And I really don't think that it's going to make any difference at all when we put the T-molding on. I don't think we'll be able to see the edge there. So anyway, okay, I'm going to put the game on its side, and we're going to do the other side exactly the same as we did this one. And then, well, then we have to router this thing. This is going to actually stink. Not looking forward to that. But anyway, all right, let's go do the other side. Okay, we have the glue on, and we're gonna let it dry for about 10-15 minutes, and then we'll be ready to go on to the next steps, which is basically applying this to the other side and J-rolling it. So I'm gonna let this dry, and then we'll go ahead and put it on and then router it. So we are getting somewhere. All right, guys, we're all done. We got the laminate on both sides. In general, I would say this was a success. Couple little hiccups, very minor stuff. You have to really hunt for it. This was the first side we did. And by the way, I did just flip the cabinet around and I J-rolled the other side because I really didn't fully J-roll the first side we did. But this is the side we just did right here. And the one little hiccup was up here. When I was J-rolling it, I actually cracked this right here, and I kind of filed it the best I could. But really, this side did come out better than the first side. And, you know, I put it on, I routed it, and then I took my file to kind of smooth out the edges. And I would say it looks really tight, guys. Come on, look at this. And that really covers up all of our imperfections and all that. So, all right, it's time to go on to router the kick plate. And I've never done anything like this before. So what I did here is I clamped this to my sawhorses, and we're gonna have to work around it. So we'll router to here, stop, move this over here, and then go around. And then when we come to the clamps, we're gonna have to just, you know, move it around. So, and again, we're gonna go counterclockwise. So we're gonna start on this side right here. Let me get my safety glasses, and let's just do this. And then when we cut the speaker hole, that's going to be a new challenge, the speaker and the coin door hole, because I've never done anything like that. So I kind of have a good plan, I think. We'll see what happens. But let's do the perimeter first. And I'll just start here, and we'll go counterclockwise. That's clockwise. Actually, we have to go this way. Okay. Counterclockwise is that way. All right, here we go. And I just want to make sure. So this one's easier because it's just square corners. All right, and we're gonna have to work around my clamp. So let's remove the clamp and we'll just put it over here. Let's see where I can. Let's see if I can get it. Right there, should be good. Okay. Move our clamp. Fighting the damn cord. I am fighting the power cord here. Alright, so there's the perimeter. And I suppose we can go over with the file right now. Okay, so we're about done here. Now we need to router out the speaker hole and the coin door hole. And how are we going to do that? Well, we're going to need a drill because we're going to have to start some kind of hole. And let me get my bits here. All right, so here's the plan. We're gonna drill holes from the other side through the laminate. All right, and we're gonna do this from the top. But I just wanted to have a hole that we can start with, and we'll drop our router bit into it. And then, if this all goes well, so if my plan works, we're going to drill a hole, and then we're going to router from the top, starting in the hole we're drilling, okay? So I'm going to drill a hole right here. And I'm staying away from the wall, okay? So that's going to be our starter hole right there. And then let's do the same over here. And I'm just using a bit that's slightly larger than our 1/4 inch. So I'm guessing that's enough to get going. So we want to go, so we're going to drop our router through that hole right here, okay? And then we're going to come this way and then go around counterclockwise. And hopefully this works. I've never done anything exactly like this before, so this is definitely new for me. All right, you guys ready? Wish me luck here, because again, I've never done this before, and I sure hope this works. All right, so we're gonna come in through here, all right? And then I'm gonna come towards me, and then we're gonna go counterclockwise around. All right, here we go. That was actually pretty easy. Let me just clean this up a little bit. Yeah, that's not bad at all. And I've never done that before. All right, let's do the speaker hole. And so again, same plan. I guess there's no risk of hitting the saw leg, so. And there you go. Let's go around one more time, now we can really see. All right, well that worked out fantastic, guys. Look at that. So I'm gonna take my file and just kind of clean it up, and I don't wanna go too crazy with the file here. So I'm just gonna clean this up. Just wanna be careful around the radiuses. Now this is all going to be covered by the coin door, so if this is a little sloppy, it doesn't matter. Boy, this is a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. All right, I'm just going to leave that alone. All right, I'm going to take my J-roller and just do one final J-roll on this thing, because I never really did. Now that I can kind of see where the wood ends and there's no risk of cracking the laminate. Look at this thing, it's like brand new. So I got a little bit of adhesive on here, and the acetone, I use that, it just removes it like instantly. All right. This looks great, doesn't it? It's like a brand new cabinet now. Okay, so guys, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna clean up. Actually, you guys wanna wipe this down together? I'll show you the acetone. It really does just remove the glue, no problem. So let me get some acetone here. And we'll just wipe this down and get all the glue remnants off, and it just falls right off. So I'm gonna get the artwork and clean up, and then let's go for it, guys. Uncle Tiggy told me that maybe I should wait a day because the glue, I don't know, what do you guys think? Is there a crack right here? It kind of is. Huh. Okay, let me clean up and then we'll figure out what we're gonna do next. Should we put the artwork on? Should I wait a day for all of this contact cement to really dry and air out? What to do? Let me think about this. What do you guys think? What do you want to do? I know the artwork would be pretty fun right now, wouldn't it? All right, guys, here's what I decided. We're gonna stop here. Don't kill me, but you know what? Maybe this is the smartest thing to do because, you know, Ty was telling me that, you know, he would wait 24 hours before putting the artwork on because the gases are being released from the contact cement. It's degassing and maybe the artwork can bubble up. I don't know. I said from the beginning, I'm not gonna rush this project. I'm not gonna hurry it. So we're gonna stop here. And honestly, we did a lot this weekend, guys. I mean, look at where we are. We have a beautiful cabinet, an awesome, amazing blank canvas. So this is going to be awesome when we come back and put the artwork on. So anyway, guys, that's it. Let's go down to the basement and do some viewer mail. But guys, we really got somewhere, and I'm just loving how this is looking. So anyway, all right, let's go back down to the basement. Woohoo! Look at this. Just look at it. All right, guys, there you have it. That was part number 6 of the Atari Quantum Restoration. What'd you guys think, huh? Did we get kind of far? We did. I know. I'm sorry. We did not put the artwork on, but you know what? I think that's the smartest move, okay? Uncle Tiggy told me, Ty said, you know, you should probably wait 24 hours because, you know, that glue, those gases are coming out and it might bubble the artwork. I don't know. Is that true? It sounds like a good theory. So anyway, the next time we come back, we're going to put the artwork on, and my God, I'm scared. A little scared. I've never put full side art on. I mean, the artwork on this game goes over the entire cabinet, top to bottom, and it seems like it would be really easy to screw up, doesn't it? I mean, it does. So anyway, we're gonna do that in the next video, part number 7, and maybe we'll do that sooner than later. I don't know. I'm actually really anxious to get back in the garage during the week, maybe a weeknight, and work on that artwork, because once that artwork is on the cabinet, guys, and we put that kick plate back on, my God, we're gonna be like really looking at a Quantum, like it's for real. So, we're getting somewhere. We're getting very, very close. Anyway, okay, so I want to do some viewer mail. Actually, before we start, I want to just tell you guys really quick, you only have a couple of days here till May 18th. If you want to get 15% off your order at iankellogg.com, that's right, iankellogg.com, you can use coupon code JohnsArcade4. And yes, guys, if you go to iankellogg.com, you can get the John's Arcade branded cap kits, and Ian uses the highest quality parts. I'm not messing around here, guys. His parts are better than anyone else's cap kits. They're not surplus parts, and he labels everything so the cap kits go really fast. And actually, we're going to be using Ian's parts kits here real soon because we have to rebuild a 6100 for the Quantum. Anyway, go to iankellogg.com, use coupon code JohnsArcade4. You only have until May 18th. That's a couple of days here. So take advantage of that. 15% off your entire order. And he's got all kinds of stuff too. Not just cap kits, you know, power supply rebuilds, just general parts to fix these games. So anyway, and then also I want to show you guys this. Okay, so C-Bart. You guys remember C-Bart? He actually did my Journey box set, and I'll show you guys that. And so C-Bart did a computer space box set and also a gyrus box set. That's right, guys. So it's the complete restore series of the computer space and the gyrus, not gyrus, on DVD. And then, of course, he also did the Journey. Now, this is my personal copy. I'm going to hold on to this forever. But C-Bart made these as raffle prizes for BroFest. So if you guys are going to BroFest, which is June 3rd and 4th, which is our arcade tournament at Fun Spot, if you guys go to arcadeevent.com, you can register, and it's not too late to register. The event's completely free. You don't have to be good. It's a really fun event up at Fun Spot, the world's largest arcade. Anyway, we're going to have these there. We're going to raffle these off. One of a kind. Look how great this is, guys. This is a 6 DVD set of the computer space restoration, and yes, it has me in the dress on the cover there. So this is part 1. In this video, John and Adam pick up a nutting yellow computer space. God, that seems like so long ago. And brings it to the garage and tries to get it working. There are less than 20 yellow computer spaces known to exist. Then John will talk to Ed Freeze and Kevin from Computer Space Fans. So yes, if you guys want to win this, you have to go to BroFest. So maybe C-Bart, I don't know, maybe he'll make more of these. I can give them away on the channel here. And then this is the gyrus one right here, which is only 3 DVDs. Was that a short restore? I mean, look at the Journey box set. It's 12 DVDs. So the gyrus one here, let's see, this is part number 1. We'll head to, God, this seems like forever ago, by the way, this gyrus restore. We'll head to the garage where we'll have the first installment of my Century Konami gyrus. So he took the buckle up. This is a long one. It's part 2 of the gyrus restore. I'll show you how to cap an arcade monitor 4800. So anyway, if you guys haven't seen these restores, go back. I have playlists for computer space and gyrus and all of them. But yes, if you're going to BroFest, I'll be raffling these off. And thank you, C-Bart, very much. How awesome is this? really. So, you know, a long time ago, I said it was kind of my dream to have box sets of my restores, and well, here they are. So thank you, Seabart, and go to arcadeevent.com if you want to register for Brewfest. Okay, so let's, hang on. This is Diet Mountain Dew. I wanted a plastic cup to take in the garage, and because I'm kind of clumsy, so this was the plastic cup option we had in our cupboard. It's like a plastic mason jar. My kids. Anyway, all right, let's do viewer mail. If you guys want to participate in the viewer mail, you need to email them to me at blkdog7@gmail.com. That's blackdog7@gmail.com. In the subject line, you have to put viewer mail, otherwise I will not find them. First one's from Stefan. Hi, John. I'm a complete newbie to arcade collecting, but I'm interested in getting a sit-down pole position. It's my sister's favorite arcade game, excuse me, of all time, and I figure if you're going to actually bite the bullet, I might as well buy my first arcade cabinet. I should start with a pole position. Maybe. You know, guys, pole position has a bit of a reputation. I'll tell you this, though, knock on wood, it's been good to me, but most of them are dead out there. Anyway, problem is I don't know where to begin. Where do I go online to track down these games for purchase? Also, is it reasonable to hope for a working cabinet from day one? Or are they all typically fixer-uppers? As awesome as it is to watch you repairing half-dead cabinets, I don't think I can handle that kind of repair work myself. Thanks, Stefan. All right, Stefan, you know, I get this question a lot, okay? A lot of you guys don't know where to find these games, and I like to believe I'm telling you guys how to do it, and I do it myself. You know, I find them on Craigslist. We went to an auction. I mean, I don't really buy games. eBay has never really panned out for me. I think the only game I ever bought on eBay was Mario Brothers. But really, there are Craigslist, if you live in the US, there are Craigslist deals to be had. And I think I proved it on this channel that you can find cheap games. I mean, the Pole Position 2 we just bought, I paid $100 for. I have that EM Bronco pinball machine in the garage. That was $100. You know, they're out there, guys. We did that Commando. That was a Craigslist deal I got for like $50. So you gotta be persistent, okay? That is the key to all of this. If you are impatient, you're gonna overpay, okay? But if you check Craigslist every day, every hour, every 2 hours, if you go on my website, I have my Craigslist search string that I actually use every day to search Craigslist. It is a string of stuff that captures the most games. I have a Craigslist notification app. It's a plugin for Chrome, and I just plug in my search string, I say which areas, and then when it finds a match, it pops up, and that's how I find these games. That's how I got the $100 Pole Position. So, if you're impatient, you will pay through the nose. You go on eBay, you bid on $1,500 on a Pole Position. Sure, you'll get it right away, but you just overpaid. If you don't want to overpay, then you gotta just keep looking. Okay, just keep looking. Now I know that if you have a very specific need, it's a little harder. Okay, but Pole Position is not uncommon, guys. There's tons of Pole Positions, and yes, I would say you should probably expect it to be dead when you get it. Now, you saw the Pole Position we picked up on Craigslist a few weeks ago. It was just a fuse, literally, and that's all it was, and I fixed the game. Now, I think there might be a bigger problem with the power supply. We're probably going to rebuild that, because why did it blow the fuse? But really, that's all it was. It was a $100 game. It was dead when I got it. We brought it in the garage, and we fixed it with a fuse. Anyway, my point is, you got to keep looking. You got to take chances on dead games, and also, and I'll say this again, and I always say this: you got to meet local collectors. Find out if there's a local collector group, and then also Klov, KLOV.com. In the forum, I would make a wanted to buy post, because your best bet is always to buy from another collector. Okay, because they're a little more realistic about the pricing usually. eBay, hit or miss, but I think eBay, you got to stay on it, and maybe you'll get lucky and there'll be some weird buy it now auction that someone lists, and if you're there at the right time, you can grab it. But anyway, good luck to you. I encourage you to get the Pole Position, and we're going to be covering Pole Position actually this summer on the channel, because we're going to rebuild that Pole Position in the garage 1000%. I want to bulletproof that game to all end, and actually, right here is Ian Kellogg's little bulletproof harness thing that we'll be using soon. So anyway, I hope I answered your question, Stefan, and good luck to you. Adam here says, "Hi, John. I've been watching you for a while now, and I really enjoy the videos, especially about pinball. Like you, I was not into pinball at all when I was younger, but now I have really gotten into it, and I love the game. I know you made a video about a virtual pinball machine in the past, but you didn't seem to like it that much. Highly recommend." Okay, then he goes on. "There has been great advancements in the virtual pinball area, like the Visual Pinball 10 and so on. I highly recommend you give Visual Pinball a second chance with the latest visual program and tables. Maybe compare one to your own real tables. Thanks for the videos, Adam." You know, Adam, I know a lot of guys are into this, and it's becoming more and more popular. Actually, on Shark Tank this weekend, or Friday, whatever it was, there was a guy on Shark Tank with virtual pinball tables, and it was nothing proprietary he was just using the software that was available, but he was building these cabinets. So yes, I agree that this is becoming a real thing, you know, and do I like it? Do I desire it? I'm gonna be honest, I really don't. So it doesn't impress me that much. I don't know why, because I like the real pinball, and I have 3 of them, and that's enough for me. I don't need to play every game virtually. I have, I purchased like the Pinball Hall of Fame and Zen Pinball and all that stuff. I had it on my iPad and on my Vita and on my DS and stuff. I don't know. I don't get into it. So it doesn't mean it's not bad or good. It just doesn't call my name. I don't know. Maybe, no, I don't think we will do a project like that. I don't know. But yes, I would encourage you guys to check it out, though. I know there's guys that they build these cabinets, they put LCD screens in them for the playfield and in the back glass. And I had a friend that brought one over here. We did a video on it, but it just didn't blow me away. And I don't know why. I mean, it seems kind of cool, but in general, I'm not into multi things, really. I like the dedicated things and the real things, so, but that's just me, okay? So, anyway, Visual Pinball 10, maybe I'll try to, I can just install that on my PC. Maybe we'll do that on John Sucks at Video Games. You guys want to do that? That could be kind of fun. But yes. So, Adam, I'm sorry, I'm not drawn to it at the moment. So, next one's from Damo Cade. "Hey, John, it's me, Damo. Every time I need a John's Arcade fix, I go back and watch a classic episode. One of my favorites is the one where you go to my hometown, LA, and visit Craig's house, who happens to own that badass Qbert prototype." Yeah, Craig's got like the first Qbert ever. "And Razzmatazz, which is also a super rare, like Carnival sequel Sega game. Your reaction to that noise you heard while looking for Craig has me in stitches every time. Did you ever get in contact with Craig afterwards? Too funny. P.S. Did you receive the email I sent you about an actual Polybius sold on Craigslist? I laughed so hard when I saw that because of the email I sent you before. If it's too expensive, let's go halfers on it, and you've got to do a video, haha. I just did that spirit googly fingers on you. Keep up the great work with work. You are my favorite show to watch right now, neck and neck with The Walking Dead." Well, thanks, Damo. So, yeah, the Craig video. Yeah, I went to Craig's house and he wasn't home. And a lot of you guys think that I really did do that. Should I not ruin it? Like, I want you. All right, you know what? I don't know where Craig was. He never knew I came and went. So, but anyway, yeah, Craig. That was a fun video at Craig's. We went to Craig's apartment, and he's got some really neat games there. And we saw the Razzmatazz and the Qbert prototype and stuff like that. And actually, I'm going to be going back to Craig's. I think relatively soon, maybe in July. We might be stopping by Craigie and hanging out. And then also, I saw the Polybius that was on Craigslist in LA. I guess it was a prop in a movie. Guys, that game never existed, okay? That was a fictional game that someone made for a movie. Doesn't exist. It does not exist. It never existed. and you know what? It just doesn't interest me either. I don't want a fake Polybius. There's no game. There's not a real game. People are just making cabinets that look like it. Now, actually, someone at Zapcom made a Polybius, and they actually made a game, like a game from scratch, and that was pretty cool. It was like this really trippy kind of game. But anyway, yes, Damo. So yeah, we'll be going back to Craig's, and yeah, he has some cool stuff. So go watch the Craigie video I did in LA. That was like 2 years ago, wasn't it? So anyway, all right, guys, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. We're gonna be back soon. Actually, I got some things planned that we're going to be doing maybe midweek. I don't know. It depends if I go to the garage, but I got some fun stuff planned here in the next few weeks. But we're definitely making some headway with that Quantum. I'm very happy with how it turned out today. It's just like a wonderful blank canvas ready for that artwork, and I cannot wait to put the artwork on. So anyway, guys, that's it. Please check out my other YouTube channel, which is John Sucks at Video Games at youtube.com/John Sucks at Video Games. On that channel, I'm mostly streaming from Twitch at twitch.tv/BLKDOG7 modern games. This week I played Doom, the brand new Doom game from id, and then I've been playing a lot of Dark Souls and stuff. And also I built a PC on there, so be sure to, if you like these kind of videos, you know, there are some hands-on videos where we do stuff like technical stuff, and I'm going to be doing some LED mods hopefully soon and eventually on my gaming PC. But I did do like a 6-part gaming PC series at youtube.com/John Sucks at Video Games. And then also check out my podcast, Video Game Outsiders, at videogameoutsiders.com, Arcade Outsiders at arcadeoutsiders.com, and You Suck Show at yousuckshow.com. And also, I do want to thank you guys. I had a few guys that did do the support thing, because I am looking to buy a new camera, and if you guys want to help me do that, it would be great, actually. And I do want to make this channel better, and if you guys want to support me, and you know, just go to my YouTube homepage, there's a support button, and all those donations I get here over the next few months are going to be used exclusively to get a new camera, because my camera is broken. The viewfinder is currently taped onto the camera with gaffer's tape, and it's kind of a hassle when I travel because it keeps falling off. And actually, if I do have 2 cameras, because I could still use this one, it's just not good for traveling. I can get 2 cameras going, we can do 2 camera shots like we did with the Raspberry Pi video. So if you guys like those 2 camera shots, we can't do it for every video because it's a lot of extra editing, but if it makes sense for some videos, like maybe some of the Let's Play ones, I can have a camera on me and then a camera on the gameplay, and I can kind of do those as a 2 camera shot. So anyway, go to my YouTube page. The support button is there. Some of you guys were confused because last video I just said go to my homepage, not johnsarcade.com. It's actually on YouTube. You go to youtube.com/BLKDOG7 or youtube.com/johnsarcade. But I do want to thank the guys that have already donated, so thank you very much. It means much. So anyway, guys, we're done with this video. I'll see you really soon. Hope you enjoyed it. I guess that's it. Later and bye!